Let's talk image covers. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Eman here from Eman's World of Geek and the C-List Villains. Today, I'm going to talk to you about my top 10 image comic covers. There was a bat signal thrown out by the bearded comic bro and Cole asking everyone to, hey, you know what? Make a video of your top 10 favorite image comic covers. And I got that right here. I'm answering the call, you guys. I'm going to do that. I actually want to play this game right here. This one was fun because I was able to go back to my 90s box and I was able to take a look at the stuff that I have now. And I was like, all right, which ones do I like? Which ones don't I like? Well, hold on. I like this. I like that. It forced me to pick. This is the part that I hated the most. It forced me to pick. So on the fly, I said, you know what? Forget it. Let's just go ahead and pick these right here. And I have them set up. They're right here. But I just want you, Bearded and Cole, to know that there was a lot more than 10 covers. There was more. I was like, I want to show this one off. I want to show that. There's a Rose Besh cover that I had to put back because of you guys. You said 10. I'm going to keep 10. So let's get on with it. I went ahead and dug through some of the boxes that I have and I said, you know what? I'm comfortable with these picks. So me saying that these are my top 10, okay, sure. Let's go ahead and go with that. So let's get things started, right? I'm going to start this off with the one book that really started it all for me. This is due to my cousin. My cousin's the one that got me into comics, and he was like, hey, dude, you need to read this book. You know, like, this is from this person, this is from that person. This is what they did. They explained the whole, you know, top 7 Marvel artists breaking away and starting Image. And I was like, okay, you know what? That's cool. I can start from the beginning. So I was able to start from the beginning. I'm going to start off with my number 1. I'm going to start off with Spawn number 1. This is the classic. This is the one that started it all for me. So I'm glad that I got this one. This is my introduction to Todd McFarlane right here. This is the one where I'm like, dude, this is the guy that left Spider-Man and started his own thing. You know what? I'm down with that, man. Like, you were at your peak and then you said, you know what? I'm good. You moved on, you did your own thing, and now you're peaking even more, man. Like, you're going above and beyond what he's doing. That's who you want to strive to be like. Todd McFarlane. Maybe not as crazy, but you definitely want to be able to do something like that. You know what? I'm at my peak. I'm going to dip out and I'm going to start my own stuff. So that's my first pick right there. We're going to start off with Spawn number 1. There's some 90s goodness in here. I'm going to throw some 90s goodness up in this mix right here. A lot of these are going to be like my first introduction to some of these top name artists, and this one definitely is one of those, you know, artists where you're like, dude, that's a classic, you know, artist right there. This was my introduction to J Scott Campbell. We're going to go with Gen 13 number 1. Now, Fairchild is quite attractive in this, but you have to remember she's only 17 in the comics, so it's really weird to look at her like that. But to be honest with you, I'm a sucker for like super bright contrasted colors, pinks and blues and aquas and whatnot. And honestly, like this, the Gen 13, the first volume series, it was beautifully drawn by J Scott Campbell. So I'm going to stick with that. It's cool because I actually got this from Wizard, and I even got like the Gen 13 hologram card that it came with. You won't be able to see because, you know, proper lighting and angles. And I've talked about this one in my videos. But yeah, I was able to get like one of the cards that came with it, so I went ahead and stuck it in there. So Gen 13 number 1, man. That's the 90s goodness, man. We're talking Image. Come on now. Like, Image started in the 90s. You want to start with that 90s goodness. So moving on to this one right here. Now, this was a book that I was waiting for several years because I was like, dude, this is a Filipino artist. Like, I've never heard of Filipinos in anything other than boxing and movies in the Philippines. Like, what's going on? And so when this guy came out, I'm like, oh man, I didn't know he drew for this, he drew for that. So I'm gonna also throw out Whilce Portacio's Wetworks number 1. I really like this cover right here. Like, it sucked because this was a promising series and I loved it until we got the whole werewolf thing. But this right here, and I'm going back to when things started for me. So I really loved like this cover again with the purples and the blues and the pinks. Like, I like that color combination. I like purples and blues and reds. As you can see, like this is my dig right here. I really love it. So when this cover, you know, I was digging through my pile and I was like, oh yeah, this is one of those covers that really captures my eye. I'm like, yeah, this is dope right here. So Wetworks number 1, Whilce Portacio. And honestly, I know I got it, but Whilce definitely has it. One day I'm gonna get to that level. All right, on to my next one. So we already know Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be a part of this right here. We got John Prophet coming up. We have a movie. It's been optioned. Liefeld's happy. He's talking all about it.
The movie Prophet is coming together in a way that, like, honestly, like it's the wish fulfillment.
But what really caught me about Prophet was the fact that this artist came over from Moon Knight, and he had some amazing work that was done in Moon Knight. And that's the series that I really want to go back and read. That's the one that I really want to go back and collect, is the Stephen Platt Moon Knight run, because I was like, dude, that art's dope. Like, that was like the epitome of what 90s comic book, just over the top, just huge muscles and veins. But he did it in such a way that was just even beyond that. It was over the top. It was definitely not anatomically correct, right? But it was still dope. I really enjoyed it. So out of all of the Prophet covers that Stephen Platt did, to me, I really liked Prophet number 5. There was just something about this one that really caught my eye. I don't know if it was like the disdain in his face, like, oh, what's going on here? And then the priest is like, yeah, you know, you're not this, you're not that. Like, just guns and pouches and bullets and just over the top 90s goodness. It's all captured, like, to me in this cover right here. So this is another one. This is another one of those covers that I actually do cherish this one right here. I really do. You know, not for anything other than I really enjoyed just looking at it. I enjoy looking at how, like I said, how over the top and beyond it is. It's great. The Stephen Platt work I really enjoy. It was like a Batman's grave that he did recently that he just snuck into the world. I was like, whoa, wait, Stephen Platt came back out? Then let me get that, man. Stephen, I'm really hoping that you come out with a lot more stuff, man. I truly miss your work. I really like your stuff. Hopefully you see this and man, come on, man, you got this. You got this, you know? You got this. The 90s was all about foil. It was all about holograms. It was all about catching your eye and come on over here, you know, look what I have. Look, I have a flashy cover, pick me up. And this is one of those books that I'll definitely, like, epitomizes what the 90s was about. I'm looking at Union #1 by Mark Texeira. The foil goodness. I know, yeah, you probably can see some of that foil in this right there. Look, I'm trying not to, you know, get the glare up in there, but you see some of that foil goodness. This was what the 90s was about. Oh, I got that card in there. I completely forgot about the card. This is what the 90s was about, right? Just over the top flashiness, big muscles, a lot of pouches, you know, holograms, you know, all of that stuff. And that's what everyone was trying to do. Hey, come over here, come do this. Take a look at this. Take a look at that. Here. This is which one is this? I think this one came from Wizard also. Yeah, Wizard Series 3. You probably won't be able to see that. Yeah, right there. You know, glare, prevent the glare. Don't do the glare. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. Just the holographic, just colored goodness right there. So when this comic book came out, it kind of revolved around that. I was like, okay, that's actually kind of cool. All right. Well, but yeah, that captures what the 90s was about right there. Just all the holographic just goodiness right there. All right, we're gonna move into some more modern stuff right here. Now, I know a lot of people, especially the first 3 issues, everyone's like, man, this book's like, what the hell am I reading? And I get it. I get it. I was the same way. Then it picked up and it's kind of like leveling off again. I'm not too sure, but this is like a really, really cool cover. This is from Rod Reis. This right here is Radiant Black #2. This is the 1 in 25 Rod Reis cover. I really enjoyed seeing Radiant Black and Radiant Red going at it right here. Now we're getting the story of Radiant Red and where she came from. And now we know she's a she. This image right here makes it look like Radiant Red's a he, and I get it, and they probably should have planned it out a little bit better, but I just like how the reflection comes through. It's like what I think Miko Suayan did with the whole Thor and Silver Surfer, you know, where you see Thor come in at Silver Surfer through the reflection. Like that's the same idea, and I really like this one right here. And again, you know, with the reds and with the blues, just with that color contrast right there, I really like looking at this cover. I really should be putting this one up on the wall. I'm not gonna lie. Really enjoyed that cover. I thought it was really hot. I was looking through for a lot of this artist's work, and I was like, oh man, she doesn't have too much, at least too much that I own, on the image side. She does a lot of boom stuff, but not a lot of image stuff. I'm like, what? Hold on, wait a minute. Why don't I have any more of her stuff? That I was like, I do have something to her. So just because it's the artist, okay? And honestly, I just wanted to show this one off just because I have one. Just want to say, hey, I got one of these. Jenny Frisson. I got myself a Nocterra number 4. Now this is pretty hot. This looks really, really nice. I just love how detailed yet simple this one is, and how sexy Val looks in this one right here. I'm really digging this. Plus, like, the Nocterra story really it's genuinely good. I'm really enjoying Nocterra, and it's gonna suck when it ends because I think it's only going like a 12 issue run, I believe. But I really, really did enjoy this one right here. And this one right here with Jenny Frisson. Eyes, all about the eyes. Look at that. It's all about the eyes, you know. Just I needed to find a way to say this is one right here, okay? But this one is really funny to me because, like, the cover's dope. It's got all this color on it. It's got everything going for it. However, you don't see this character in the comic, like, at all, and I don't know why. And I don't know if this artist is saying something, and I'm hoping later on we are gonna get something, but I want to say that this is the first cover appearance of what this is. And I even asked him, I was like, hey, is this a Gundam? And he's like, it technically isn't a Gundam. So I'm waiting for this to show up. But this is from friend of the show. That's right, I had to throw in some Giang goodness in here, and this right here is crossover number 5. This is the BTC Virgin exclusive by Giang, and I absolutely robots is my thing. I love robots. I love anime, Gundam, you know, Macross, Robotech, Dangayo, Voltron, Transformers, anything that transforms, moves, turns into a big mech. I'm just a sucker for. So when BTC announced this one right here, I'm like, oh, I need to get the ends by Giang. It's a mech. I gotta pick it up. However, in crossover, if you're reading it, there's no mech. So John, I'm gonna need some explanation. Unless they told you something and that NDA face comes up. NDA, I can't talk about this project face on TV. I get it. When are we gonna see this character? That's what I want to know. But this one right here is super, super dope. I was really feeling that one. I really enjoyed that one right there. Now this one right here slipped through the cracks. This was like a really, really exclusive cover from a local shop here in the Bay Area. When I was doing my Aftershock ambassador program, visiting shops and talking to folks, one of the owners was like, hey man, are you in the Department of Truth? I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I really like it. He's like, oh, that's great because we got this artist, we're doing our own exclusive cover, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, that is friggin' dope. Dude, do me a favor. I'm gonna be coming back in next month. Do me a favor, put one on to the side for me. He's like, yeah, no problem. And the following month when I was doing my rounds, he was like, hey, Emmanuel, hey, come on. I got you. What? He's like, I saved one for you. And he pulled it out. I was like, oh, dude, this book is so dope. Like, it looks so much better in person than it did in pictures that he was showing me. This one right here is the Department of Truth number 12. This is the Crush Comics exclusive. This is by Matt Ritchie. This is the stamp variant, and now Matt Ritchie's known for doing like these stamp pieces of art, and he actually did this one right here for Department of Truth. And it's funny because like he actually had like these extra stamp like cards, and the owner of Crush was like, Image, I'll go ahead and say it because I didn't pay for it. He's like, Image didn't really allow us to sell those, so here we printed them out. We're just gonna be giving them away. So I was able to get the stamps along with this one. But this one is dope. Like, he's got a whole series on the postage stamps that he was selling through Crush Comics, and it was really, really dope. I was really enjoying that, and unfortunately I wasn't able to go back and get the rest of them, but I got the first one that Matt Ritchie did for Crush number 12, and this one is super, super sick. Okay, my final one, and slight flex. I've already shown this one right here before, but I definitely want to show it again, only because it's from another friend of the show. This one right here I showed off recently in one of my mail calls with this artist, and I started this new series, you know, where it's the creator's mail call, where I do unboxings of comics, but I actually have the creator of the cover on the show, you know, with us unboxing and having them explain to us like their thought process and whatnot. So this one here I really want to show off because this was I sent this to this artist directly, and I was like, look, I know I'm paying a little extra, but I would rather have the money go to you. You know, he went ahead and signed it, submitted it, remarked it for me, and I was like, yeah, it came back, and it came back at 9.8. So I definitely want to show off my crossover #1 Aaron Bartley, signed by Aaron Bartley, remarked, came back at a 9.8. This is the Comic Mint Aha crossover #1 variant right here. Come on, Aha, come on. I had to do it. I had to show this one off because I really like this one, and I'm really satisfied with how this one came out. Right? You know, it's not just the cover, because the cover is dope. It's not the fact that it was sent over to CGC, but this was remarked and signed directly by Aaron. You know, and he's a buddy of the show, and I really enjoy. Just looking at this one right here, I actually should be hanging this one up also with some of my other stuff. But yeah, that cover is super fun and super dope to me right there. Well, that's it, you guys. That's Bearded and Cole's top 10 image covers. Now, if you guys can go follow them, go look for Bearded Comic Bro and Cole, because they have this challenge. They want all of us to show off what our top 10 image covers are, and I went ahead and showed off what I had. Now I want to see what you have, so go ahead and do that. Make sure you follow the Bearded Comic Bro and Cole. Look for them. You guys know who they are. If not, I'll make sure to drop their links in the description down below. That way you can see their challenge, their videos, and see what they're doing. I'll even drop a few other people who went ahead and did this. I know TM Nerdy dropped one, so guess what? I'm gonna follow in his footsteps. I'm gonna do one as well. Okay. All right, you guys, that's it. That's my top 10 favorite image covers. Now it's your turn. It's time for you to drop those videos as well. All right, you guys, that's it. Until the next issue. Deuces.